Newer visits the stairwell often now. Not every day, not every week, only when it feels right. The door is still hidden, still sealed in its quiet way, but it always opens for her, not because she forces it, but because she listens. Each time, she brings something small, an object, a scent, a word written on folded paper. The lantern never flickers quite the same way twice. Sometimes the glow deepens to amber. Other nights it curls cool and silver blue, like twilight caught in a glass jar. She doesn't ask it questions, she just keeps it company. That's how it begins. One night she brings a feather, black, glossy, tipped with a single thread of white. She doesn't know why she chose it, only that it felt important. She lays it down beside the owl carving from before. The two objects seem to lean toward each other, as if in conversation, and when she sits back, she feels it. The hum, low, deep, rooted in the soles of her feet. The lantern is listening to her. She speaks aloud, just a whisper. I don't want to forget. The glow deepens. Not her, not the way she laughed at her own cooking, not the smell of flour in her sleeves, not the song she hummed when she thought I was asleep. The lantern doesn't answer, but the memory wraps around her like a shawl that still holds a loved one's scent. Nur cries, quietly, not from sadness, but from being remembered. After that, she begins to notice something new. The stone. She brings her palm to the wall behind the lantern and feels shapes. Not carved letters, not symbols, just gentle grooves. Half familiar. She presses her hand against it, lets her breath slow, and suddenly she sees it, not with her eyes, but with the part of her that dreams even when awake. A hand like her own, much older, much steadier, carving this wall with care and love. She understands now. The lantern was never meant to glow alone. It was meant to teach, to pass the warmth onward, not like fire, not like knowledge, but like presence. And Nur is ready. Weeks later, she returns with her father's old chisel, not to carve, just to hold it, to feel the weight of making. She sits beside the lantern and opens a blank notebook, a gift from her mother, and she begins to write. Not stories, not dreams, but names. First names, then moments, then fragments of things she doesn't want to forget. The rain on the roof when I was sick, the way her fingers smelled of rosemary, the crack in the tea mug that looked like a smile. Each one becomes a kind of light. And in time, the lantern's glow joins with her own, not brighter, wider. On the wall behind the lantern, a faint shimmer begins to grow. Nur doesn't see it, not with her eyes, but her hands do. They reach out, not to shape, to follow, to trace the memory left behind by others. The grooves deepen under her touch, soft as breath, and the wall accepts her, like it had been waiting just for her. In the centuries to come, people will speak of her the way legends are spoken of, quietly with wonder, but not certainty. They'll say she was the youngest archivist the cathedral never officially hired, that she catalogued nothing, but remembered everything. They'll say she wrote with no ink, and carved with no blade, and lit 100 hearts without a single spark, but you will know the truth. She was the lantern's apprentice, its second light keeper, the one who learned not to carry memory, but to share it, softly, wordlessly, like warmth from one pair of hands to another. So now, dear dreamer, as you lie quietly under your own night sky, let your mind rest beside the lantern. Let your breath fall into that same still rhythm, the kind you feel when someone is watching over your quietest thoughts. You are safe. you are remembered, and perhaps you too are ready to carry the glow, to become, in your own small way, a light keeper. Nur is 17 now, taller, quieter, not the quiet of shyness, the quiet of depth, the quiet of someone who knows how to wait without needing to be noticed. She still visits the lantern, but something is different now. The glow doesn't hum for her the way it used to. Not because it has stopped listening, but because it is listening for someone else. One evening, she sits across from the lantern, hands folded in her lap, knees drawn close beneath her coat, and she speaks. It's almost time, isn't it? The lantern glows once, just once, but Nur understands. She isn't meant to keep coming forever. She's meant to leave something, to make space for the next light keeper. So she begins preparing, not with fanfare, not with speeches. She spends her final visits in silence, traces the walls, grooves, presses her palm against the memory stone. She whispers old names, even if no one remembers them, and then she brings her gift, wrapped in a square of velvet, a stone, small, smooth, unremarkable, except that she found it at the base of the old gargoyle, the one carved by Corwin so long ago, the one who still watches. She tucks the stone behind the lantern, resting it gently where only time will find it, and she whispers something no one else will ever hear, a memory of her own, one she's never written, not even in her notebook, the kind of memory you leave in stone, so that someday someone else will place their hand there and feel less alone. Then she stands, brushes dust from her coat, and walks down the stairwell one final time, not with sadness, not with regret, with peace, the kind that glows even when the lantern sleeps. Years pass, then decades, then names change. The stairwell is rediscovered briefly, then forgotten again, and the lantern, it dims, not out of loss, but to rest. It has done its work, it has held, it has passed on, it has waited. Now, it waits again. But the wall begins to hum. Not loudly, not urgently, softly, like moss remembering footsteps, like parchment remembering ink. Because Nur left something more than a stone. She left a promise that someone else will come, and they will listen, and the lantern will glow again. So now, dear dreamer, close your eyes, press your thoughts like palms against warm stone, and listen. Can you hear it? The faintest hum. Not from this world, but not far from it. It's waiting for you. When you are ready, when the hush is right, when you need it most, the lantern will wake, the wall will open, and you will remember, not with words, but with warmth.